This is 26-year-old Tony T.J. Wiggins.
He's a thug. He's a criminal. He's pure evil in the flesh.
According to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, T.J. Wiggins was the trigger man in a bloody massacre, leaving 3 fishermen dead last week near the town of Frostproof, Florida. The victims, 23-year-old Damian Tillman, 27-year-old Brandon Rollins, and 30-year-old Kevin Springfield, were best friends, getting together, as they often did, to go fishing.
What's more wholesome than 3 friends, 3 close friends, fishing together in Frostproof on a Friday night?
The night of the murders, Damian Tillman stopped by a Dollar General store before meeting his friends. Surveillance video shows him in line. Also in the store, T.J. Wiggins, his brother, 21-year-old Robert Wiggins, and T.J.'s girlfriend, 27-year-old Mary Whitmore. Tillman, according to investigators, told the clerk he was going fishing and that Kevin Springfield would also be there, which allegedly got the attention of T.J. Wiggins.
And T.J. says, "What? Kevin's going to be there?" So when they leave the store, T.J. tells Robert, who's driving, go to the lake. Now, they had no plans to go to the lake until T.J. told Robert, go to the lake. And they did.
All 3 friends had just arrived at the lake, sitting in 2 pickup trucks, one white, one red, when, according to Sheriff Judd, T.J. Wiggins pulls up with his brother and girlfriend.
He, being T.J., runs around between the red truck and the white truck. He points the gun at Kevin, and T.J. says, "Where's my truck?" Kevin goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yeah, you do. Where's my truck? You sold the engine out of my truck." Kevin's saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." At that moment in time, according to the information we've received, T.J. hits Kevin. Damian starts to open the door of his vehicle and is screaming at T.J., "Put the gun away, put the gun away, put the gun away." TJ's out of control, screaming, "Where's my truck?" And he starts shooting.
At 10:06 p.m., just 10 minutes after Damian left the Dollar General, Brandon Rollins called his father for help. This is what Brandon's dad told WFLA.
When I got there, I was looking for my son. It was a mess. I found my son. I was holding him. He was telling me what happened. I was too shocked.
All 3 men died at the scene. The Wiggins brothers and Mary Whitmore left the scene and allegedly went to get food.
They immediately go to McDonald's in Lake Wells and order 10 double cheeseburgers and 2 McChickens. While they're standing in line, they go through the drive-thru. It's very quiet. TJ simply says, "We weren't there."
Robert Wiggins is cooperating with investigators. A search warrant turned up a 9mm shell casing found at the Wiggins home that matches one at the scene. Before this, T.J. Wiggins, according to the sheriff, had 230 felony charges on his criminal record, dating back to when he was just 12 years old.
It's gut-wrenching. This is evil in the flesh. This is a guy who can hurt you just because it's the right thing for him to do at that moment in time with his 3 brain cells. He needs to receive a fair trial, the appropriate appeals, and then be executed.
Sheriff Grady Judd speaking very honestly there. This is a horrifying case, senseless over basically nothing, at least according to what the sheriff has uncovered so far. Let's bring in Ted Rollins. Ted, I understand all 3 were in court today. What happened?
Yeah, initial appearances for all three of them. No bail for T.J. Wiggins, as you might think, you might have expected. Bail was set, however, for the other two. Mary Whitmore, bail has been set for $45,000. She's facing 3 counts of accessory after the fact, so $15,000 for each of those on her bail. And then Robert Wiggins also has the 3 counts of accessory after the fact, plus a tampering with evidence charge. His bail was set today at $46,000 at this point. Neither one of them have made bail. That may change, though. If they do, they will be monitored, house arrest, etc.
Some unusual living conditions for these three. What did we find out about that?
Yeah, the tips came in right away. There was a $30,000 reward, and people said in the community, hey, T.J. Wiggins, check him out because he is a bad dude. And sure enough, they go and it takes them a while. They find him, and the Wiggins plus Whitmore are living off the grid in this rural area. Take a listen to Sheriff Judd.
Grid. No running water, no electricity. They had some generators. So understand that now we're talking about frostproof in a rural part of the county. The shooting happened in a rural part of the county, and we literally have to walk the road, and we go down a dirt path through the woods that opens up into a compound off the grid. That's how far out in the woods this is.
They were living in a group of trailer homes that were literally in the woods outside of Frostproof. And Frostproof is about 90 miles east of Tampa, to give people a little bit of sense of where it is in Florida. As you mentioned, very, very rural.
Yeah, the heartbreaking part of this, I mean, the whole thing is that really got to me, though, was the father of Brandon Rollins. Found his son dying at the scene, and the sheriff did speak about that. Let's take a quick listen.
By the time Dad got there and found his son on the ground, gasping his last breaths, and he's holding his son, or he's with his son during the very end of his life, and he's panicked. As I told you, he ran to the store, and people, good question. Well, why didn't he just pick up his son's cell phone and call? Well, his son's phone had fallen down inside the truck. And in his panic and fear, he didn't see any cell phones. He just knew the three boys and his son were shot to pieces, and he ran for help, which is all he knew to do. We've tried to comfort Dad. The wounds were so severe that quite literally, if an emergency room had been across the street, they couldn't have saved his life.
Yeah, Ted, I can't imagine the anguish that his dad's going through, because he's there right at the last moments of his life, and he's got to go get help, and while he's gone, his son passes away, and he's wondering, did I do the right thing? But he did do the right thing, and there was nothing that he could have done.
Yeah, he literally got a call. He was in bed. He jumped out of bed, was at the lake within minutes, and found his son dying. And, you know, it's something he'll obviously live with the rest of his life. We reached out to the family, and understandably, they don't want to speak. They spoke right away before the arrests were made. At this point, though, they want their privacy. They do have a GoFundMe scenario going for the burials of these three. It's through the sheriff's website. You can go to the Polk County Sheriff's website and get some more information on that. It's just a horrible, horrible case. These three young men literally massacred over what? Nothing. Over a lunatic blaming Kevin Springfield for some engine in a pickup truck from who knows when, what he was talking about. Obviously, Kevin Springfield didn't know what he was talking about at the time, and all three of these young men are dead because of it.
Yeah, and it's a guy with 230 prior offenses.
Yeah, out on bail, by the way. Out on bail
Allegedly, he hit somebody with a crowbar and broke his arm. This guy, according to Sheriff Judd, is the worst of the worst, an absolute lunatic running wild. He's behind bars now, and again, he's behind bars, no bail, facing the possible death penalty here. 3 counts of first-degree murder.
All right, we'll continue to track this case, of course. Ted Rollins, thank you so much.